the best photographs of beauties of the Old West. Before we begin, I just want to say thank you for being part of this journey with Who Remember. If our videos have ever made you smile, brought back a memory, or reminded you of a simpler time, then I'd be so grateful if you'd follow us to our new channel, Back to Yesterday. Just hit the link below, subscribe, and let's keep the memories alive, together. This New Orleans actress and poet gained international fame for her daring stage performances. Klondike Kate was a dancer and entertainer during the Klondike Gold Rush. Victoria Woodhull was the first woman to run for President of the United States in 1872. She was also a pioneering Wall Street broker and advocate for women's suffrage. Lotta Crabtree, a talented artist, captivated audiences during the California Gold Rush with her singing and dancing. Her success allowed her to become one of the wealthiest women of the time through investments in real estate and railroads. Jenny Rogers built a successful brothel empire in Denver, earning the nickname Queen of the Colorado Underworld. Dora Dufran was a prominent madam in Deadwood. Ah Toy was a prominent madam in San Francisco during the Gold Rush, known for her business acumen and legal battles. A photograph of a Cheyenne woman highlights the beauty and cultural heritage of the Cheyenne people. Cattle Kate was a rancher who was lynched after being falsely accused of cattle rustling. Fanny Sperry Steele was a champion rodeo rider. A photograph of a Texan cowgirl highlights the important role of women in the Old West. Lola Montez was a dancer and actress, known for her captivating performances and advocacy for women's rights. She challenged societal norms through her provocative performances and outspoken support for women. Josie Washburn, a brothel manager in Nebraska, was known for her beauty, intelligence, and efforts to improve the working conditions of the women in her establishment. She even became an ally of the authorities against local crime. Mary Halleck Foote was a writer and illustrator known for her realistic portrayals of life in the Old West mining communities. Margaret Tobin Brown, known for her bravery during the sinking of the Titanic, was also a wealthy socialite from Leadville, Colorado. Dora Hand, a singer and performer in Dodge City, had a tragic end when she was accidentally shot. Mary Coulter was an architect who designed iconic structures in the Southwest, including the Desert View Watchtower at the Grand Canyon. Mary Ellen Pleasant was a successful businesswoman and abolitionist. Belle Starr, a notorious outlaw, challenged traditional gender roles and became a legendary figure. Laura Bullion, a member of Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch gang, was known for her disguises and daring robberies. Cynthia Ann Parker was captured by Comanches as a child and later reintegrated into white society. Abigail Scott Duniway was a suffragist and newspaper publisher who played a key role in securing women's right to vote in Oregon. Lou Graham was a prominent madam and businesswoman in Seattle. Johanna July was a skilled horsewoman and circus performer. Elizabeth, wife of General George Armstrong Custer, was a writer and speaker who dedicated herself to preserving her husband's legacy after his death. Rose Dunn, also known as Rose of Cimarron, was a young woman involved with the Doolin Dalton gang. Annie Oakley was a famed sharpshooter who gained international recognition for her skill and performances in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Julia Boulette, a popular courtesan in Virginia City, Nevada, also played a role in caring for the sick and supporting local firefighters. Lottie Deneau, Queen of Poker, was a skilled gambler. Eleanor Dumont was a gambler and brothel owner known for her distinctive facial hair. Della Moore was romantically involved with outlaw Kid Curry. Fanny Porter ran a high-class brothel in San Antonio. Martha Hughes Cannon made history as the first female state senator in the United States. Bess Brezing was a madam whose life may have inspired a character in Gone with the Wind. Toby Winema Riddle, a Modoc interpreter, played a key role in preventing violence. Pauline Cushman was a Union spy during the Civil War who gathered intelligence while working as an actress. Josephine Earp, wife of Wyatt Earp, encouraged him to leave his life as a gunslinger. Josephine Airy was a generous businesswoman who ran a saloon and brothel in Helena, Montana. A naturalist and taxidermist, Martha Maxwell was a pioneer in her field. Doc Susie was one of the first female doctors in the Old West. Practicing in Colorado for almost 5 decades, she provided care during the 1918 flu pandemic. Pearl Deary founded the luxurious Old Homestead Brothel in Creede, Colorado, during the Gold Rush. Baby Doe Tabor, the second wife of silver magnate Horace Tabor, lived her final years in poverty at the Matchless Mine. Polly Pry was a fearless journalist, known for exposing injustices. Big Nose Kate, known for her relationship with Doc Holliday, ran a popular brothel in Tombstone. Sadie Orchard was a successful businesswoman in Kingston, New Mexico during the silver boom. Fanny Kelly survived a harrowing captivity by Sioux Indians. Emma Liz Quigley was an opera singer who transitioned into running a brothel. Calamity Jane, known for her independent spirit and cross-dressing, was close to Wild Bill Hickok. Etta Place, whose real name and fate remain a mystery, was the companion of the Sundance Kid. Squirreltooth Alice was a prostitute and dancer known for her love of squirrels. Ann Bassett, Queen of the Rustlers, challenged powerful ranchers and was associated with Butch Cassidy's gang. Mattie Blaylock was Wyatt Earp's common-law wife and struggled with addiction. Susan Shelby McGoffin documented her journey across the West, providing valuable insights into frontier life. Mattie Silks, a prominent madam, ran brothels in several cities. Diamond Lil Davenport was a flamboyant madam in Alaska during the Klondike Gold Rush. Sarah Winnemucca was a Paiute activist and educator. Nellie Cashman was a prospector and businesswoman. Two prostitutes pose for a photograph in an Alaskan brothel. The text explains the proliferation of such establishments due to the skewed male-to-female ratio during the gold rush, circa 1890. People gather outside a store in Austin, Nevada, a booming mining town in 1890. A rare image of Billy the Kid, left, playing cards with his gang, the men's hands under the table, the bottle of liquor, and Billy's attire, 1877. A cowboy observes a chuck wagon cook preparing a meal in Texas, 1909. This photo captures Deadwood, South Dakota's main street during its founding in 1876, bustling with people and wagons. Deadwood has since become a frequent setting for Western films and TV shows. Covered wagons form a circle in Denver, Colorado, circa 1863. A studio portrait of a company of Texas Rangers, a law enforcement agency with a prominent role in Old West history, 1885. Cowboys, pioneers, and settlers take a break on the trail in 1870. A photograph depicting life on a street in Dodge City, Kansas, a notorious Old West town known for its saloons, brothels, and outlaws, 1878. A couple travels in a wagon pulled by bison near Sioux City Falls, South Dakota in 1885. A photograph of Sheriff Pat Garrett, famed for killing Billy the Kid, and a brief account of his life. Men drink beer at the Tondre Saloon in Castroville, Texas, in the early 1900s. Men gather outside a saloon in Miles City, Montana, highlighting the importance of saloons as social gathering places in the Old West, circa 1880. Miners converted a cave into a shed at the Cottonwood Placer Mine in Colorado, 1897. A 20-mule team transports borax in Death Valley, California, one of the most challenging environments on Earth, circa 1900. A young woman poses in her underwear in Storyville, New Orleans' red light district, circa 1900. A settler family poses outside their farmhouse in Custer County, Nebraska, in May 1862. A locomotive crosses Fremont Pass in the snowy Rocky Mountains of Colorado, circa 1870. A photograph of Sitting Bull, the renowned Sioux leader who led resistance against the U.S. Army. A crowd gathers in front of the newspaper office in Tombstone, Arizona Territory in 1887. Cowboys enjoy drinks and conversation in a saloon in Tascosa, Texas, circa 1907. A miner and his dog pose outside their cabin in Cripple Creek, Colorado, in 1891. Wagons and people on a newly established street in an unidentified western town, circa 1870. Lawmen pose outside the city marshal's office in Guthrie, Oklahoma, in 1890. Hunters and their dogs pose outside a cabin in Arizona in 1908. A view of Main Street in Deadwood, South Dakota, in 1877, before its boom during the gold rush. A man transports water using a cart and barrel, circa 1905. Cowboys water their horses in Dodge City, Kansas, circa 1900. A studio portrait of outlaw Jesse James, known for bank and train robberies, 1875. A description of Charles Earl Bowles, a.k.a. Black Bart, the poet-bandit stagecoach robber. Men in an Oklahoma town witness the arrival of running water, emphasizing the importance of infrastructure development, 1893. Mule-drawn freight wagons pass through Belleville, Nevada in 1880. Members of the Navajo tribe cross Canyon de Chelly in Arizona in 1904. A train unloads passengers onto horse-drawn wagons in Colorado, 1888. A street scene in Manhattan, Nevada, a boomtown during the silver and gold rushes, early 1900s. Women in a brothel in Montana's red light district, 1890. Cowboys gather around a chuck wagon for a meal in the Old West, 1900. A staged photograph on Main Street in Helena, Montana, circa 1874. People gather in front of a unique rock church in Zuni Pueblo, New Mexico, 1873. Residents of Bonanza, Colorado, pose for a group photo in 1880. A view of the Grand Canyon with Native American tents in the foreground, 1873. A photograph of a prostitute in Pennsylvania, taken by a client, circa 1892. Men pose with their donkey mascot inside a saloon in Cripple Creek, Colorado, in 1893. A photograph of a large Sioux encampment in South Dakota, 1890. A family poses near their mine in Cripple Creek, Colorado, in 1893. A photograph of Olive Oatman, twice kidnapped by Native Americans and given distinctive chin tattoos. A cowboy camp in South Dakota, 1870. Men gamble in a saloon in Arizona, 1895. Wagons line the main street of Miles City, Montana Territory, in 1881. A Native American observes the newly completed Transcontinental Railroad, symbolizing the changing West. Workers operate a mule-drawn wheat harvester in La Puente, California, circa 1887. Loaded wagons on the main street of a small farming community, circa 1880. Texas Rangers share a meal at their camp near Rialtos, Texas, in 1888. A large pile of buffalo hides in Dodge City, Kansas, illustrates the scale of bison hunting, 1878. Men pose inside a saloon in Winslow, Arizona, in 1890. A family poses outside their home in Nebraska, 1887. Carriages on Main Street in Bozeman, Montana, in 1875, highlighting the importance of the Bozeman Trail. A wagon pulled by mules crosses the Nevada desert, 1867. A busy street in Leadville, Colorado, in 1879. Butchers, shopkeepers, and customers on a street in Oklahoma, 1894. The arrival of U.S. mail in Eldora, Colorado, in 1897. People gather in a saloon in Helena, Montana, circa 1890. Lakota Sioux people in a tent camp in South Dakota, 1891. A photograph of Geronimo, the Apache leader who resisted Mexican and U.S. expansion, circa 1907. Ore wagons converge in Idaho Springs, Colorado, in 1894, a key location during the Colorado Gold Rush. Men play poker outside a ranch in Arizona, circa 1889. Mule-drawn covered boxcars on the streets of Helena, Montana, in 1880. A saloon scene at the Texas-Mexico border, late 19th century. A street scene in Midland, Texas in 1894, where everyone appears to be looking at the camera. Wagons and people on the main street of Helena, Montana, after the gold discovery, 1870. Miners transport a freight boiler across a stream in Los Cerrillos, New Mexico Territory, circa 1890. A family of migrants arrives in Nebraska, 1886. Daily life on Main Street in Miles City, Montana, in 1877. Native Americans with government officials during a land survey in Utah, 1872. A large Native American encampment in South Pass, Wyoming, in 1870. People in wagons crossing a river in St. Carlos, Arizona, circa 1885. Miners' transport equipment in Eldora, Colorado, in 1898. Two miners at a camp in the San Juan Mountains of Colorado, 1875. Daily life on Main Street in Lead, South Dakota, in 1880. Men guide horses through the rugged terrain of Navajo Mountain in Utah, 1909. Covered wagons on the main street of Helena, Montana, during its early days, 1865. Lozin was an Apache warrior and healer. "100 Rare Vintage Photos of North America and the Wild West." In 1906, pioneers perched nonchalantly on a log-laden train as it crept across a fragile wooden bridge spanning the steep ravines of Oregon's Cascade Mountains. These daring scenes capture the rugged ingenuity and resilience of an era driven by exploration and resourcefulness. In 1885, beneath the expansive Nebraska sky, a resilient farming family stands proudly before their humble sod house, a testament to ingenuity on the rugged frontier. Modestly dressed, they embody the spirit of determination. Behind them, a windmill rises, harnessing the prairie winds, a symbol of survival and the enduring partnership between humanity and nature. In 1911, a poignant photograph captures young coal miners in Nanticoke, Pennsylvania. These children, often no older than 8 to 12 years, worked tirelessly as breaker boys, manually removing impurities from coal in facilities that were heavily reliant on labor. In New York City, on January 6, 1915, hundreds of pedestrians gather as they witness the aftermath of a fire under Broadway at West 55th Street. The blaze, ignited by an electrical short circuit at 8 a.m., was contained to 2 subway manholes, as reported by the New York Times the following day. Around 1900, horse-drawn carriages navigated the bustling streets of what was then known as Longacre Square. Just a few years later, in April 1904, this historic location would be renamed Times Square, marking its transformation into a global hub for entertainment and commerce. Courtney's store and post office in Sheep Camp, Alaska, stood as a lifeline for prospectors during the Klondike Gold Rush in 1899. Operated out of a humble canvas tent, this makeshift hub offered essential supplies and a link to the outside world. In 1887, a group of Texas Rangers stands proudly outside a grocery store in Cotulla, Texas. The Texas Rangers, a legendary law enforcement agency with authority across the entire state, became an enduring symbol of the Old West. In 1900, the 12th Street drawbridge in Chicago rises elegantly, allowing ships to pass through as they navigate the waters of Lake Michigan. This impressive feat of engineering symbolizes the city's connection to the Great Lakes and its bustling port life. In 1918, a Texas family stands solemnly in front of their home. Due to the long exposure times of large cameras, smiles were rarely captured, resulting in serious expressions. In 1864, a powerful scene unfolds on Whitehall Street in Atlanta, where a black Union soldier from the United States Colored Troops, enlisted in 1863, pauses in front of a former slave auction house. The sign, "Auction and Sales of Negroes," starkly contrasts the soldier's role in fighting for freedom, serving as a haunting reminder of the nation's painful history. In 1889, a team of 20 mules readied to haul a train of borax wagons and a water tank across the blistering expanse of Death Valley, California. This grueling 165-mile trek to the Mojave Rail Terminal was a lifeline for mining operations in the region. Around 1900, a determined woman stands amidst the biting cold and swirling snow of New York City, tirelessly collecting Christmas donations for the Salvation Army. This global charitable organization, founded in 1865 by Methodist minister William Booth, and his wife, Catherine Mumford, in London, has long been a beacon of hope for those in need. Around 1880, Silver King, Arizona, comes alive as two freight teams, each pulling 4 mule-drawn wagons full of precious ore, traverse the town's main street. The scene reflects the town's bustling mining industry, a lifeline for the region. In 1907, a class of children gathers in front of the one-room schoolhouse in Round Top, Texas, where education was offered in a simple, close-knit setting. In 1910, lumberjacks in Humboldt County, California, pose beside massive sequoia logs. The men appear tiny next to the towering trees, emphasizing the colossal size of the sequoias during the height of the logging era. Before school buses revolutionized transportation, children rode to class in horse-drawn school wagons. This particular wagon, brimming with eager students, made its way to a rural school near Lexington, Kentucky in 1900, a humble yet charming glimpse into early education. Around 1900, a taxidermy shop in Kansas showcases bison heads outside its doors, reflecting a time when the trade of bison hides, leather, and meat flourished during America's westward expansion. For centuries, bison were integral to Native American tribes, offering food, clothing, shelter, and holding deep spiritual meaning. In 1890, the lively St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans was a dynamic blend of cultures. Horse-drawn carriages meandered between grand commercial buildings and stately hotels, while the bustling streets captured the essence of the city's deep-rooted history and vibrant life. During the 1870s and 1880s, Vancouver barracks played a significant role in military operations against Native American tribes in the Northwest. On January 24, 1908, amidst a heavy snowstorm in New York City, horse-drawn carts worked tirelessly to clear the streets, with all snow removal done by hand. In 1862, at Smith Plantation on Port Royal Island, South Carolina, the calloused hands of African Americans skillfully separate cotton fibers, preparing them for the gin. In 1886, a determined pioneer family travels through the endless plains of North Loop, Nebraska, their covered wagon carrying them toward an uncertain future as part of the Great Migration West. Captured around 1897, this photo showcases the Hatfield family of West Virginia, infamous for their bitter feud with the McCoy family of Kentucky. This legendary conflict, which ignited shortly after the Civil War, went on to become a defining tale of American folklore in the late 19th century. In 1890, under the blazing California sun, workers at Stockdale Ranch laboriously stack freshly cut hay into towering piles, marking a grueling day in the fields. The chaos of 1906 enveloped San Francisco as its residents stood powerless amidst destruction. Clutching the few possessions they could salvage, they watched their lives unravel as the relentless flames of the Great Fire, ignited by one of the most catastrophic earthquakes in U.S. history, continued to devour the city. In 1924, at just 18 years old, Ruth Malcolmson's remarkable journey from Miss Philadelphia to Miss America in Atlantic City marked a shining moment in beauty pageant history, showcasing both her grace and determination. In 1889, 2 imposing overland stagecoach wagons make their way across a bridge en route to Deadwood, South Dakota. As they pass, men raise their hats or wave, creating a snapshot of camaraderie and the rugged spirit of the American frontier. In 1900, a young newsboy hustles to sell his papers on a bustling Saturday afternoon in downtown St. Louis. In Kansas, a family travels in their horse-drawn covered wagon in 1908 with a young boy holding a rifle. At the time, children were taught to hunt and defend their families from an early age. In 1909, in Knoxville, Tennessee, Coca-Cola's journey hits the streets. Two deliverymen, early pioneers of the brand, stand proudly with one of the first Ford delivery trucks, signaling the dawn of a new era. The February 1920 blizzard brought New York to a standstill, yet the markets on West Street, crowded with carriages and wagons, kept the wheels of business turning. In 1906, the vibrant energy of downtown Boston pulses along Washington Street, just north of Temple Place. Carriages weave among streetcars, while pedestrians navigate the crowded sidewalks, passing by stylish stores in the heart of the city. On May 14, 1862, a group of African Americans, their expressions a mix of hope and apprehension, stands in front of a house in Cumberland Landing, Virginia. During the Civil War, Union forces labeled them contrabands, a term initially neutral, yet now carrying deep historical significance. In 1908, Delaware Avenue buzzed with life, cloaked in smoke and steam. The ringing of carriage bells and the hum of streetcars formed an urban melody, while street vendors called out to the crowd, offering their wares. In 1913, young women worked long hours in a cotton mill in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, enduring harsh conditions during the peak of the textile industry's growth. In 1862, President Abraham Lincoln, distinguished by his top hat, stands at the heart of the battlefield at Antietam in Maryland, flanked by General George B. McClellan, who gazes intently at him, and McClellan's staff. In 1904, Raymond Schuyler poses with 4 of his children on a snowy day in Worcester, Massachusetts, capturing a quiet, intimate moment amidst the winter chill. Circa 1900, a Colorado miner relaxes with his family outside their cabin, with power lines in the background signaling the nearby mine, many of which had already embraced electricity before the 20th century. In 1875, during the westward expansion, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints conducted baptisms of Paiute Indians in Utah, marking a unique moment in religious and cultural history. In 1910, a widow and her children are photographed in West Virginia, shortly after the funeral of their coal miner husband and father. In 1861, daily life unfolds at the camp of the 31st Pennsylvania Infantry, later the 82nd Pennsylvania Infantry, at Queen's Farm near Fort Slocum, Washington, D.C., during the early days of the Civil War. In 1905, under the warm Florida sun, elegantly dressed bathers soak up the leisurely atmosphere of Palm Beach. In 1922, the banks of the Potomac River became the backdrop for a stylish gathering where friends flaunted the latest fashionable swimsuits of the era. In 1925, an immigrant family stands on the docks of Ellis Island, gazing at the New York skyline as they await the ferry that will take them to their new life in the city. For much of the 19th and early 20th centuries, Ellis Island served as the primary entry point for millions of immigrants arriving in the United States. In 1889, 3 men and their faithful dog sift through the frigid waters of a creek in South Dakota's Black Hills. Their eyes sparkle with hope, inspired by the legends of gold treasures worth $350,000 that were once unearthed in these very hills between 1876 and 1878. Around 1902, a group of cowboys sits around their chuck wagon on the Texas Great Plains, enjoying a hearty breakfast before another long day on the trail. Around 1910, a horse-drawn fire engine races down 72nd Street at Broadway in New York, rushing to combat a fire in the heart of the city. In 1871, a sheep-eater tribe family is captured in their tent camp in the Rocky Mountains of Idaho. Known for hunting wild sheep, which formed the basis of their diet, the sheep-eaters considered Yellowstone their home. Main Street, Pendleton, Oregon. Main Street, Caldwell, Kansas, circa 1900. Broken Bow, Nebraska, circa 1886. Trinidad, Colorado, early 1880s. Main Street in Bannock, Montana, taken between 1865 and 1870. Downtown Wilkson, Washington, circa 1910. Eagle Bar, Western Hotel and Saloon on 15th Street, Cheyenne, Wyoming, circa 1880. Looking down to the Weber River, Echo City, Utah, taken between 1868 and 1870. Kingfisher, Indian Territory, the evening of April 22, 1889. Lake Valley, New Mexico. Street scene in Tucson, Arizona. Pine Street in Abilene, Texas in 1881. Cerro Gordo, California, circa 1870s. Hays, Kansas, taken in 1885. Farnham Street, Omaha, Nebraska, taken between 1862 and 1868. Pack Burrows, Victor Avenue, Victor, Colorado, taken between 1895 and 1899. Blacksmith Shop in Burlington, North Dakota, taken in 1880. Pack train leaving town for the mines, Index, Washington, circa 1911. Freund's Gun Store, Laramie, Wyoming Territory, taken in 1868. Guthrie, Indian Territory, taken on May 18, 1889. Silver City, New Mexico. Front Street, Nome, Alaska, taken on July 1, 1900. Street scene of early Fort Worth. Main Street and Valley Avenue, Baker City, Oregon, taken in 1875. Drover's Cottage, Ellsworth, Kansas, taken between 1870 and 1872. Fremont, Nebraska in 1867. Main Street, Deadwood, South Dakota, taken in 1877. Virginia City, Montana, circa 1890s. War Eagle Hotel, Idaho City, Idaho. The Cowboy Saloon and the Buffalo Echo Office, Buffalo, Wyoming, circa 1880. West Main Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma Territory, taken on June 18, 1889. Street in Isleta, New Mexico. Amarillo, Texas. Photo taken between 1887 and 1888. The Stage at Sutter Creek, California. Broadway Avenue, Abilene, Kansas, taken in 1875. Tonopah, Nevada, taken in 1903. Central City, Colorado, circa 1864. Hotel and General Store in Wilton, North Dakota, circa 1890s. Cowlitz Avenue, Castle Rock, Washington, circa 1897. Street Scene, Benton, Wyoming Territory. Center Street, Provo, Utah, taken between 1894 and 1905. First house built in Edmond, Oklahoma, taken on December 22, 1890. Tombstone, Arizona. C.S. Fly, photographer. Congress Avenue, Austin, Texas, taken before 1875. French Hotel and Mission, San Luis Obispo, California, circa 1873. Cornucopia, Oregon, taken in 1884. International Hotel, C Street, Virginia City, Nevada, taken between 1860 and 1870. Grand Island, Nebraska, taken in 1867. Gayville, South Dakota, taken in 1877. Street scene of early Bridger, Montana, circa 1900. Pierce, Idaho. Immigrants going through San Angelo, Texas, circa 1885 and 1890. Waldo Store, Waldo, Oregon. Wells, Fargo & Co.'s Express Office, Carson City, Nevada, taken between 1860 and 1870. Main Street, Sacramento, Nebraska, taken in 1879. Dakota Territory Capital, Yankton, taken in South Dakota, 1866. Billings, Montana, circa 1882. Pioche, Nevada, taken in 1873. Poverty Gulch, Cripple Creek, Colorado, circa 1897. Early Street View, Golden Gate, Lawrence County, South Dakota. Helena, Montana, taken in 1874. Elk View Hotel, Elk City, Idaho, circa 1890. The Office Saloon, Battle, Wyoming, taken in 1887. F.B. Severs Cash Store, Okmulgee, Indian Territory, taken on May 9, 1875. El Paso, Texas, circa 1880. Susanville, Oregon. Austin, Nevada, taken in 1868. Chestnut Street, Leadville, Colorado. Vermilion, South Dakota, after the 1881 Missouri River flood. Barron, Washington, circa 1900. Fourth of July, Main Street of Bodie, California, taken in 1880. Drugstore, Dodge City, Kansas, taken between 1875 and 1885. Palisade, Nevada, circa 1870s. Burros loaded with track iron for mines at Silverton, Colorado, taken in September 1887. Main Street, Calico, California. Photo taken before the fire of 1883. Merchants Hotel in Wahpeton, North Dakota, taken between 1880 and 1899. Panamint City, California, taken in 1875. Douglas Avenue, Wichita, Kansas, taken in 1878. Valley City, North Dakota. Front Street, Coupeville, Washington, circa 1890. Main Street, Boise, Idaho, taken in 1866. Bismarck, North Dakota, taken in 1895. Main Street, Payson, Utah, circa 1900. Haley, Idaho, taken in 1884. Perry, Oklahoma Territory, taken on October 3, 1893. Cody, Wyoming, circa 1897. South Temple Street, Salt Lake City, Utah. Mercantile stores in Santa Fe, New Mexico Territory. Corrine, Utah, circa 1870. Charleston, Arizona. Skagway, Alaska, taken on May 20th, 1898. Street view of Acoma, New Mexico. Taken in 1886. Jerome, Arizona. Shows homes built up side of hill, building under construction in background. Circa 1890. Albuquerque Station, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Circa 1880s. 4th of July, Parade, in Yuma, Arizona. Circa 1893. Bluff, Alaska. Parade on Washington Street in Phoenix, Arizona. Sitka, Alaska, circa 1880s and 1890s. Waterfront at Juneau, Alaska. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the beauties of the Old West. Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, share Who Remembers, and check out more videos in this series. See you next time.